on the heat. We welcome those of you who just watched the game between Green Bay and Detroit here at Texas Stadium. No score yet. Penalty marker down on this last play.
Again, we were talking about Charles Haley and what he does for this defense.
Still third down.
He's the guy that started it.
No play.
Well, you heard Bob McElwee say no play, no play. So no sack.
Yeah, then that means that the whistle had to blow.
Before the snap.
They just couldn't get him stopped. It'll bring up a third and about 7.
Yeah, the Eagles were offsides before the ball was snapped. They blew the whistle, but had they not, that shows a couple things. One, that Haley can put on pressure, and Cunningham has a problem with fumbles. He's fumbled 9 times this year.
Roy Green in the Eagle lineup. This time, Cunningham has time. His receiver, Calvin Williams, his intended receiver, I should say, slipped down. It rained all night. And so the turf is dry and it's wet in some spots.
Yeah, Richie Cote was saying last night, Randall Cunningham hasn't been in sync with these guys, and he isn't in sync here early. He said he wanted to get back, boom, get rid of that ball.
Jeff Feagles back to punt for the Eagles. Kelvin Martin back deep for Dallas. Still no score. They tried to block that one, so not setting up a return. This is Kelvin Martin. Away from 1, slips by 2, and is hammered by Pat Beach.
Well, Pat Beach is a starting tight end now, but the way he got in position to hammer him, of course, he's the snapper. Been a 10-year veteran.
Richie Kotite talking with his quarterback, Randall Cunningham. That's final score, 23-21.
I don't know. Did they look like they were talking or arguing over there?
I gave them the benefit, maybe. It did look like an argument. The Jets over Miami. 16-7. Buffalo had a tough time. Pittsburgh beat Houston by a point. Irvin's back in the game, but this is Emmitt Smith, left side, no gain, or maybe a yard. Ball popped out, but the play was down. Clyde Simmons made the stop.
But again, we were talking earlier how Jimmy Johnson breaks every game down, like everyone does, a kicking game, and your offense against their defense and your defense against their offense. And he figures that he's going to win the one in the kicking game. He's going to get a big play in the kicking game. He figures that his defense is going to win the battle against the Eagle offense. Then the one that he doesn't think is going to win is this one right here, his offense against their defense. He said in that case, you just don't want him to lose it for you.
2nd and 9. Flag on the play. The Eagles jump. Pass it out to Johnston. Johnston has enough for a first down. We would welcome those of you who watched the Rams and the Atlanta Falcons.
Number 51 defense, penalty decline, first down.
Dallas first down. The penalty was against William Thomas, decline.
And this is the first down of the game. You think that the Eagles are going to be a dominant defense. They are, and the Cowboys again are an improved defense. And the Eagle offense is a struggling offense.
Numbers 1 and 2, the Eagles being number 1. First down. Dallas at their own 30. And Aikman to throw it. Irvin dropped it. John Booty on the coverage.
And this will give you time. Watch, here's Reggie White here. Now watch how they block him. They're going to have 2 guys on him. Williams hits him, boom, he gets underneath him. You bring the back in there. Here's Johnson right here. Here's Williams right here. You get him sandwiched. If you are going to have pass protection, you better double Reggie White. Keep him as close to the line of scrimmage as you can. That's a pretty good double. I mean, you can get a double sometimes where a back will knock a tackle off, too.
Johnson goes in motion this time on 2nd and 10. The draw play to Emmitt Smith. Chased by Reggie White. The ball's loose and the Eagles have it. That's the one thing they said they couldn't do is turn it over. Eric Allen made the recovery.
Eagles do is they really get off their blocks well. Watch them. They hit in, boom, they get off blocks, they penetrate. There's Big Reggie coming down there. He goes to hit him. Clyde Simmons, 96, hits him, boom, and strips that ball out of there.
And Eric Allen made the recovery. First down, Eagles at the Cowboy 36.
They were talking to Nate Newton last night, and he called Clyde Simmons the silent killer. He says, you hear all the thing about Reggie White. He says, but the guy that can really kill you is Clyde Simmons, and he started on that play.
First and 10, Philadelphia. Cunningham to throw. Picked off by Larry Brown with blockers in front. And Brown's hit and knocked out of bounds by Cunningham. Alvin Williams was the intended receiver, but they turn it around in a hurry. 30-yard return by Brown.
Probably the most underrated player on this Dallas Cowboy team is Larry Brown. But you know one thing, when you're a pro quarterback, you got to zip that ball. And for some reason, Cunningham didn't zip it. He took something off. Larry Brown is playing underneath. Watch that ball. That doesn't have a lot of zip in it. Brown is just playing underneath in a zone, reads it, picks it off, and takes it back. And did someone put a block on Herschel Walker on that play? Tony Tolbert it was. He saw him, and he turned. You know, that's the thing. When you're rushing, you go from defense to offense. And did Tolbert put a hit on Herschel Walker?
This, of course, is Herschel's first visit back to Texas Stadium since that mammoth trade with the Vikings. Really the keynote of the return of the Cowboys. And you wonder what he's thinking.
Well, yeah, he's probably thinking on that. That wasn't a welcome home handshake there by Tolbert. But, you know, the other thing is this is maturity by the Cowboys. You know, when something bad happens to you, instead of letting it happen, boom, go make something bad happen to the other guys.
Rust. Randall Cunningham just suffered that interception. It's Kotite, the Eagles head coach, over in conference with him. First and 10, Dallas at the Eagle 42.5-yard line. No score. Emmitt Smith barrels inside the 40, picked up 4, maybe 5. William Thomas tripped him.
You know, we were talking about the thing that the Cowboys are going to try and just run and run and run. Emmitt Smith has never had a 100-yard game against the Eagles, and of course those two things kind of go hand in hand. If he has 100 yards, they're probably going to win because that means they were able to run the ball, but they've never done that yet. And every Eagle will tell you the key to stopping the Cowboys is stopping Emmitt Smith.
Cowboys now go with 2 tight ends, Alfredo Roberts and Novacek, but they go in the other direction with Emmitt Smith. He looks to be too short of the first down, stopped by Byron Evans.
Now they're running over there on that left side. One thing, you get away from Reggie White, you get in there behind Mark Tuinei and big old Nate Newton. You know, they moved Nate Newton from a guard to a tackle, and they're running back in here, right in here to this side. You know, just working out. You see Nate gets Clyde Simmons, big old 61, boom, he gets him moved out. Tuinei gets his guy moved out, and they get a nice crease in there for Emmitt to run.
Third down, a couple. Kelvin Martin, the man in motion, Bateman will throw it. Goes in a hurry to Michael Irvin. First down, Cowboys. Inside the Eagle 30, a gain of 8, stopped by Rich Miano and John Booty.
But we see they have this bunch type of thing. One guy goes deep, Michael Irvin just stops, and again what they're trying to do is just get him against the zone about 7 yards, kind of being a short guy, hoping he can get the ball, you know, break a tackle and make a big play.
First and 10 at the Eagle 26. No score.
If you're thinking about scoring against the Eagles, I don't think this is a bad place to try from. Try from here. It's tougher when you get closer to the goal line.
He's going to try. Novacek, the intended receiver, covered by Byron Evans. It's one thing about the Eagle defense. They feel those linebackers can stay with a tight end.
Yeah, that's the thing, that either Seth Joyner and Byron Evans, that they can stay with Novacek. So if they can stay with the tight end, then that means that you can take your secondary. You see Byron Evans there stay with Novacek, covering Novacek. If they can do that, then that will let your secondary double the wide receivers.
Harper to the right on 2nd and 10, Early left. And Smith stopped as he heads straight ahead. Mike Pitts. Both these teams do a lot of changing on defense, changing in personnel, particularly the defensive lines.
Well, you know, you have a guy like Mike Pitts who's been injured, just been activated a couple weeks, and you want him in the game and you want him to play because he's a good player, very good against the run, good pass rusher, but you don't want to play him too much where he starts to get tired and then that injury thing comes back.
3rd and 8. 2.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. No score as yet. Aikman in the pocket. Incomplete. Kelvin Martin was the intended receiver. Andy Harmon put the pressure on Aikman, and here comes their field goal team.
That's a guy that's quietly having a pretty good year, is that Andy Harmon.
Yep.
He's playing well in there.
Lynn Elliott is the Dallas kicker. This will be from about 42 yards. Berline holding.
This is the part that Jimmy Johnson was saying he has to win. He has to win the kicking game.
No good. He's going to have to wait to win the kicking game. The Eagles will take over. 0-0. 2:15 left to play in the first quarter.
It's the weekend, and the Honda
At Summerall with John Madden. We're at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. 0-0 score. Randall Cunningham gives to Herschel Walker. And the Cowboy defense swarms on their ex-teammate, although most of them were not here when he was.
You know, it's funny, Pat. At some point, I think this Eagle defense is going to start getting mad at this Eagle offense if they don't keep them off the field a while. But they always seem to be bailing them out. With the Eagles, it always seems the offense will get in trouble, the defense will bail them out. In fact, they've given up 14 turnovers, the Eagle offense has, and out of that, the other team has only gotten 6 points.
That is remarkable. Here's Cunningham to Walker. Bounces away from one, but is thrown for a loss of 2. Russell Maryland was the first man to make the hit.
And the other guy there, here's Maryland right here. Here's Charles Haley here. One of the things when we talked to Rich Kotite last night, he said they wanted to run at Charles Haley. He said because he's not a big, strong guy. He's not a guy you can take a double team, but he's not an easy guy to block. I mean, Charles Haley, you may get him, you may start to get him, you may start to block him, but I'll guarantee you one thing, Charles Haley doesn't stay blocked, and you're not going to make a living running at 94.
The only thing he might do is wear it down.
Yeah, that's the thing. You may wear him down.
Cowboys on a blitz, and Cunningham is down. Jeffcoat. Jim Jeffcoat. Boy, that's a name we've been mentioning for a long time.
They had the whole thing there. Thomas Everett, number 31, was on a blitz. Charles Haley was just there, and then Jeffcoat. Watch, Haley's coming from the outside. Watch number 31, Everett is there. 77, Jeffcoat coming from the other side. Boom! Hey, that was a stunt. Jeffcoat usually plays a right defensive end. He came on a stunt from the left defensive end.
Martin at midfield. Around the corner. Kelvin Martin out of bounds at the Eagle 45. Knocked out by James Joseph. A 36-yard punt by Fiegels. A return of 16.
And we're talking about the special teams and the kicking game, and the Cowboys missed that field goal, but they sure got some good field position here.
Nothing. 34 seconds first quarter.
Ball League on CBS Sports.
0-0 at Texas Stadium. 34 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Cowboys 1st and 10 at the Eagle 35. They had it down here a moment ago, missed a field goal. Now they're back. John Madden said in very good shape. Aikman fakes. Aikman throws to Novacek, incomplete. Rich Miano hit Novacek.
And Troy Aikman made a heck of a move getting away from Reggie White. Reggie White's going to put the pressure on him. Watch 92. White, that's a bull rush. You just get a ball and you just get that thing going backwards. Look at Aikman made that bullfighter move there right around him in order to throw the ball to Novacek. That was a pretty good move. Novacek has a broken finger, and he's having trouble catching the ball. And he's usually a sure-handed guy, but it's the right hand. You see the ring finger on the right hand is broken, and he is having a tough time catching the ball.
Aikman back again. Wheels it outside to Emmett Smith. Byron Evans knocked him out of bounds, but Emmett got 9.
One thing about this Cowboy team with Troy Aikman really coming along as one of the top quarterbacks in this league. Then he has a lot of tools. He has Harper and a speed outside, Irvin, Novacek, Emmett Smith. I mean, they really have a lot of players that they can move the ball around to.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Dallas 0, Philadelphia 0. Quarter at Texas Stadium. Philadelphia 0, Dallas 0. Third down, about a yard and a half.
The Eagles on this defense, they're playing a goal line defense here now, Pat. They only have 3 defensive backs in there. So they got the extra linebacker.
Hand off Emmitt Smith. First down. Cowboys at the 21. Britt Hager made the stop. He was the extra linebacker.
That's right. They took out their corner, John Booty, put in an extra linebacker just to stop the run. You see, they're all in there to stop the run. They're all in there waiting to stop the run, and then the Cowboys ran right into it, but did a good job of blocking and still got the first down.
1st and 10 at the 21. Darrell Johnson and Emmitt Smith. The 2 backs. Novacek, the man in motion. Smith. Nothing there. Wes Hopkins up in a hurry. No gain.
Darrell Johnston is a good player. I mean, you don't see him a lot because of Emmitt Smith. He doesn't get to carry the ball, but he does all those tough things. He's the guy we saw him doubling a Reggie White in pass protection. We saw him that time leading, a good blocker. In fact, I think had Emmitt Smith followed Johnston on that play, he would have made more yards than a yard. Kind of left his blocker. Johnston does a lot of things quietly for this team.
Very good pass receiver. Good blocker, as you said. Meantime, they took him out. Novacek was the man in motion. Incomplete. Novacek again.
Novacek has probably dropped more balls since he's broken that right finger than he has in his whole career. That time they took Johnson out. They put Novacek in the backfield. He was the tight end in the backfield. They put him back there, moved him, put him in motion out to the right, and brought him underneath on that short pass. And that's the 2nd pass that he's dropped today. In fact, it's the 3rd pass. Michael Irvin dropped a pass already.
And Novacek in the first game against the Eagles up at Veterans Stadium had a couple of drops that he would normally have caught. 3rd and 9. Aikman again retreats. Intended for Harper, incomplete. Booty and Miano back with Harper.
I tell you, you have to have confidence and you have to have a rifle arm when you throw that one. Troy Aikman threw that thing into double coverage and he zipped it in there. I mean, that thing, if you could put one of those guns they have on baseball on this thing, this one is over 100 miles an hour. I mean, that is a zip. I mean, that thing is zipped in there. There's no way it's going to be intercepted. In fact, it darn near knocked the defender down.
That might have hurt. From 38 yards this time. Elliott. No good. Overcompensation, maybe. That one missed right. And the score remains 0-0. Nothing the score. Here's how close Elliott came.
If you know, if you look at this, the goal line goes right down the hash mark. So he's on the left hash mark. They try and kick it out and then hook it in. That one, he just kicked it out and it didn't hook at all.
It's got to be inside the goalpost. This is Walker. And the Cowboys stringing out and herd him out of bounds.
As long as Herschel Walker can be kept running sideways, you can herd him out of bounds all day. That's always been the thing on Herschel Walker. Don't let him get in your secondary. Don't let him get his shoulder square. Keep him perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. And they kept him perpendicular, and if you keep him perpendicular, then you're going to herd him right on out of bounds down here in Texas.
That's the key to a lot of things.
Keep him perpendicular.
Yeah. Cunningham incomplete. Low throw for Barnett.
You know, last night we were talking to Richie Kotite. The first thing he said when he came in the room, he said, we have to get our offense in sync.
That was even without a question.
Yeah, and they haven't done it.
Final scores, all those. Atlanta beat the Rams by 2. The Jets upset Miami. Pittsburgh over Houston. Green Bay beat Detroit. New Orleans. They keep winning.
I tell you, talk about a silent killer. That's the New Orleans Saints.
Isn't that the truth?
They always win, and no one ever talks about it.
Ball batted in the air, incomplete. As Cunningham again felt the pressure from Haley and Jeffcoat. And Jimmy Jones.
You see Jimmy Jones coming up. There comes Jeffcoat again from that left side. Jeffcoat used to play the right side. Haley's on the right side now. See Jeffcoat 77 down here in the bottom. He's going right through Antone Davis. Haley's up at the top. Jimmy Jones coming straight up the middle.
Jeff Fiegels back to punt. Cowboys this time do try to set up a return. Kelvin Martin at his own 28. Hops out of bounds at about the 30. Brett Hager down to make the stop. A penalty marker on the play.
That's a new Cowboy punt return where they have Kelvin Martin back there and 2 other guys back there with him in case there's a short punt. They don't like the way Kelvin Martin comes up and fields short ones, so they put 8 men up and then 3 men back, 2 men on either side.
Number 26 during the run back, 10 yards, first down, timeout.
Penalty called against Kelvin Smith. 0-0 with 12:35 left in the first half.
For those who
missed 2 field goals, Emmitt Smith has 45 total yards. Look at the total yards overall. Dallas 72, Philadelphia 7. Dallas ball 1st and 10 at their own 21. 0-0. Michael Irvin in the slot to the left, and now he goes in motion to the right. Aikman to Smith. Tripped up. Jumped forward for a couple, but stopped by Byron Evans. Mike Golick.
You know, those guys really do a pretty good job in there. Again, you talk about Reggie White a lot and Clyde Simmons, but Mike Golick, number 90, and Andy Harmon, 91, are doing a pretty good job in that middle, along with Mike Pitt substituting in and out. Again, they try and keep a guy fresh, They don't have Jerome Brown there anymore. There was a real strength to that defense. But these guys are doing a good job in that middle because that's where the Cowboys are trying to run.
That's Pitts back in there again. Here's Aikman to throw it. Drops it off to Calvin Martin. First down and Martin. Tripped up at the 40. Right now, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update.
All right, Pat, in Phoenix, the Cardinals have broken a scoreless tie. Chris Chandler to Randall Hill, 4 yards in the touchdown. And for the 49ers, Steve Bono has replaced quarterback Steve Young, who's left the game with the flu. 7-0 Phoenix. 3 minutes to play in the first half, Pat.
Here at Texas Stadium, score is 0-0. 11-20, 11-19 left to play in the first half. Dallas has pretty well controlled things, but no points. First down, Aikman throws. Calvin Martin again. Into Eagle territory. Stopped by Hopkins. Just barely.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. They bring in Calvin Martin, and he's taking the place of Jay Novacek in there. He's going in that position. You see right in there underneath against that zone defense where the tight end usually catches a lot of passes. Instead of having Novacek get in there, and he's had trouble dropping the ball, they put in Calvin Martin. Boom, he's a little change of pace, and they let him work that same area that the tight end or fullback would normally work.
1st and 10 Cowboys at the Eagle 48. No score. Aikman to Smith with room this time. And Emmitt Smith dragged down by William Thomas. 4-yard gain. Looked like it could have been more.
Jim McMahon there is trying to pump up that offensive line because he knows that that offense of the Eagles, if they're going to stay in this game, that offense of the Eagles is going to have to start at least getting some first downs, at least taking some time off the clock, at least letting this defense rest, because this is a great defense, but you can't let it play the whole game for you.
If they do, no matter how good they are, sooner or later they'll crack. Emmitt Smith. Not much. Miano up from the safety spot.
You see Reggie White on that play. They had success over on the right side. They ran at Reggie. Now they're going to try and run again at Reggie. And boom, he's going to come here and just stand up this whole thing. Watch Reggie there as they come. They start there. You see him take on Williams. Williams, 320 pounds. Reggie just gets underneath him. Boom, straightens him straight up, keeps him there in the backfield, and there's no place that Emmitt Smith is going to make a yard on that side.
If Reggie doesn't wish to be blocked, you're not going to block it.
You aren't going to block it. He gave you a little tap in the pregame.
Still feeling it. Close to a first down. Novacek held on. Miano made the stop. They're going to measure.
Now they're right there where they can start the measure. They got one of the sticks right there. And you don't have to measure. You just kind of have to stretch it out and take a look at it. Well, don't move it. Oh, he's holding it down. You hold it down, I'll stretch it.
Measure it, and it's a first down. It was complicated, but it's a first down.
It seemed you just kind of look down at your feet, see the ball and the thing right there, and say first down. That last play, we're talking about Reggie White, he had moved over the center, and he played against Mark Stepnoski on that play. Aikman again didn't want that push up the middle. He got a pretty good block on him, and Aikman got rid of the ball and got the first down out there.
6 first downs for the Cowboys, none for the Eagles. Aikman fakes to Emmitt Smith. Incomplete. Intended for Harper. He tripped over Wes Hopkins.
I think the fans that they're trying to get a pass interference. Watch Alvin Harper come across. We're going to see Wes Hopkins, number 48. Again, does he hit him or touch him or anything before the ball's in the air? No.
Nope.
I mean, you can't call a penalty on that one.
They didn't.
They shouldn't.
They won't. 2nd and 10. Johnston in motion. Emmitt Smith finally finds some room and gets inside the 35. Clyde Simmons made the stop. Smith sneaked around for 5.
But they, you know, all those running backs that are the great running backs in the NFL today, you know, the Thurman Thomas, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Barry Foster, we were talking about earlier today when we were watching Barry Foster, they all kind of looked the same. I mean, they all got that kind of short and real powerful body from the waist down. I mean, they have big, strong legs, hard to see, but are very powerful runners.
All about 5'10", 5'11". Not the huge backs there used to be in pro football. Here's Aikman spinning out of pressure, chased by Reggie White, and run out of bounds by Seth Joyner. No gain by Aikman, and I think they're out of Elliott's range.
I tell you, and this
No,
is
they're not.
This is the thing. Elliott's going to come in for the 3rd one, but Aikman has some speed here.
Better have.
The Joyner was chasing him, but before that, Reggie White was chasing him, and he had to get his hat down.
This will be from about 52 yards. He's missed from 42. He's missed from 38. Berline holding. Well, the play was stopped before it ever got started.
Offense. 5 yards.
Delay of game
4th down.
on the offense.
Yeah, that's a killer there, because at least they had the shot there to kick it. Now with the delay of game, of course, that's a 5-yard penalty, so they won't even try it now, so that makes them punt. I mean, that's, we talked before the game that Jimmy Johnson said they were going to win the kicking game. They had to win the kicking game. In the first half thus far, they aren't winning any kicking game.
Well, that's 2 shots they missed outright. That one, if it had counted, was not good either. But it's all.
Probably better off
Meaningless
punting
now.
anyway.
Yeah. Sikahema signals fair catch and makes it at about the 19-yard line. They spot it on the 20, now they move it back to the 19. Still no score. 6:39 left to play in the first half. No score. Cowboys and the Eagles.
Reggie's starting to look like a football player now. I mean, I don't like this carpet and stuff here in the hole in the roof. We don't get any grass or mud or dirt, but at least you get some blood in your pants and start to look at this is a football game.
Fake to Walker. Pass complete to Byers. Byers playing with a broken bone in his hand, stopped by Vincent Smith.
You know, one thing I always liked about Keith Byers is whether he runs the ball as a runner or as a receiver, has a broken hand or whatever, he finishes off every run. In other words, you come to hit him, he's not going to just stand there or stay there and let you hit him. He is going to hit you. And you talk about an open field blocker. Keith Byers over the years has made some of the best open field blocks I've ever seen in my life.
He is a tough guy. On 2nd down, they give this to Walker. Close to a first. If it is, it'll be the first down for the Eagles of the day. Robert Jones, the middle linebacker.
You know, when you have goals and stuff as an offense, or you're talking as a coach with a score of 0-0, you don't talk in terms of, oh, we got to hit some bombs, we got to get some scores. Sometimes, like a Rich Kotite now, you just want a first down. You know, let's just keep the ball. Let's just rest our defense for a while. Let's just get some first downs. Maybe we'll have to punt later, but let's just take some time off the clock.
There are some barriers you have to break, and that's one of them. Handoff. That's Byers over the left side, 4 yards.
You know, and it seems like they figured out, let's give Byers the ball some, because Byers brings a little spirit. I mean, he brings a little load. I mean, he takes that ball in there, and whether there's something there or not, he's going to hit the hole. I mean, that's a different look Herschel Walker will kind of give you the slide and glide and slash and hit it if it's there. Byers will hit it whether it's there or not.
2nd and 6, just under 5 minutes left to play in the first half. 0-0 score. Cunningham to throw it. Again, the ball bounced. Maurice Johnson was the intended receiver. Incomplete.
Yeah, I think that's still part of Randall Cunningham's frustration, is not having Keith Jackson. You know, I always thought that, you know, Keith Jackson and Keith Byers were kind of his security blankets. Those guys that he could tell them what to do. They'd always be underneath. He could always find them. Of course, Jackson's with Miami, and Byers has a broken hand. And I don't know that he feels that confidence in Pat Beach or Maurice Johnson, who he just threw to it.
3rd and 6. Roy Green lined up in the slot. Sekahima was a man in motion. The Cowboys put some heat on and stop Herschel Walker. And do they stop him? No gain. Leon Lett was the first man there, and he's another who's really coming on.
Leon Lett's a big 300-pound tackle who can run. He looked like he tried to take Herschel Walker and just bury him right here in the middle of the stadium. I mean, there's tackles and there's takedowns and there's bringdowns and there's knockdowns. But I'll tell you, this is a pull and a drive and a slam, and I mean, everything came. His parts started to come off.
That's all done without a rope. Martin signals fair catch, fakes it. The Cowboys will take over at their own 27. 38-yard punt. 4:01 left to play, no score. Left to play in the first half. 0-0. Dallas 1st and 10 at their own 27. They have been able to move the ball a little bit. Not very effective, and the Eagles have just barely been able to move it. Emmitt Smith just gets a yard. Reggie White.
Yeah, they're trying to run a trap in there. You'll watch, they'll block down. Here's Reggie White right here, and they're going to block down and try and trap. You see, they bring him down. Here comes Nate Newton. He's trying to make a trap there, but Reggie White just took that hit, felt that pressure, and then boom, the minute you feel the pressure in your outside shoulder, you just dip your right side, and then you'll end up in a spin. And that's exactly what Reggie White did.
He spun right into it. 2nd and 8. Novacek on the move. Aikman retreats, gets it to Novacek. Novacek hangs on and gets outside to 30, hit by Miano. Not enough for a first down, a gain of 3.
Yeah, we were talking to Troy Aikman yesterday. He was talking about offensively, they have to have a lot of patience. And I said, is that easy for you? And he goes, yeah, he said, it's easy for me on Saturday. And he said, it's usually easy for me early in the game. He said, where I have trouble being patient is in the second half, or if we get behind, then I just want to go and try and make something happen.
3rd and 4. Smith is the lone setback behind Aikman. Martin in motion. Aikman to throw. The Eagles blitz. Pass complete to Martin. That is enough for a Dallas first down. A pickup of 11.
The Eagles, the first thing you have to do is pass protect. The second thing you have to do is be able to pick up the blitz. And that's what they do here. You see 56, Byron Evans is coming. Boom, right there. Emmitt Smith picks him off, and that's the block. Well, of course, that and all the offensive linemen block it, but Emmitt Smith, you know, we know he can run with the ball, but if they're going to blitz, you have to be able to do what he just did, and that makes you get the reception.
That's the 2-minute warning. They'll be unable to get another play off. 2 minutes left, and Aikman looks a little disgusted as he looks up now and sees they didn't get a play off before the 2-minute warning.
The thing, we just saw Emmitt Smith making a big block with the blitz there. He's only been sacked one time and hurried once, hasn't been knocked down, no batted balls, no interceptions. I think both of these teams' offenses right now are playing not to lose rather than to win.
First down, Dallas at their own 44-yard line. 2 minutes left in the first half.
you have to admit that the Cowboys offense has been playing a lot better than the Eagle offense. I mean, they've had 3 field goal opportunities at least.
Aikman to throw. Gets it to Darrell Johnston. Still on his feet, still fighting. Another Dallas first down at the Eagle 41. Wes Hopkins finally knocked him down after he picked up 15 yards.
Yeah, watch him here. He's going to start right there. Rich Miano's number 38. When you get a guy like Johnson in the open field, you better wrap your arms. Miano doesn't wrap his arms, and Johnston runs right over him. He's like a bowling ball or a cannonball when he gets open in that open field.
Of 240 pounds. Again, Aikman. Caught by Harper. John Mooney was the defender. A gain of 9. Crowd booing because of the added effort by the Eagle defense. Timeout, Dallas.
Well, you know what they're doing? They're booing, but I'll tell you whose fault that was. That was the official's fault. There was no whistle, and the Eagles were just hitting until the whistle blew, and that was a late whistle.
0-0. Regional action here on CBS. Most of you will see these same Cowboys battle the Detroit Lions. John and I'll be there for that one. A big game at 4 o'clock Eastern features the Redskins against Seattle. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, the last word before kickoff. That's next Sunday on CBS. Right now on CBS, no score. Cowboys at the Eagle 32. They need a yard for a first down. The first down, but somebody moved. Golick might have jumped on the Eagle defense.
Yeah, if the Cowboys get a first down here, I think against the Eagles, this is a good area to take a shot at the end zone. They're a little tired. They've been out there a long time. You got them run down a little.
Number 90, defense, 5 yards, second down.
Yeah, if you look at the time of possession, the Cowboys have had the ball 19 minutes, 26 seconds. The Eagles only 9 minutes, 31 seconds. There's Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles. Here for a long time, and now I think there's a time to take a shot at him.
Aikman back to throw it. Johnson again. Inside the 25. Stopped by Byron Evans. And William Thomas. Timeout, Dallas, with 56 seconds left to play in the first half. And still, nobody on the scoreboard.
Ross Perot on voting your conscience.
If you want to rebuild the job base, let your vote say so. If you want a government that comes from the people instead of at the people, let your vote say so. If you want to reduce our $4 trillion national debt, let your vote say so. Look at the issues, look at the facts, look at all 3 candidates, and then vote your conscience.
Ross Perot for president.
Pat Summerall, John Madden. No score. As we wind down the second quarter, coming up, Greg and Terry with the scores and highlights from around the league. There have been some big surprises. That all comes up on the NFL Today at the half. Second down. And about 7 to go for Dallas at the Eagle, just inside the Eagle 25. Here's a Eagles blitz. Pass complete to Martin. Clock is going to continue to run.
The Cowboys only have 1 timeout, and I'm sure they want to save that, Pat, for the field goal. They don't want to use the timeout here. They can just throw the ball down to stop the clock.
35 seconds left, and that's what Aikman does.
See, when you get down and you only have 1 timeout, you want to save that for your field goal. So now it's second down. I still think they ought to take shots to the goal line. They haven't taken any shots to the end zone yet, and I think that the closer you get the tougher it is. You know, I think back on the 25 would have been an ideal spot to try it, but here is a pretty good spot.
34 seconds left to play in the first half. Down to 12 seconds. Aikman will get this off in plenty of time. Aikman batted up in the air, out of the end zone, incomplete, intended for Novacek, broken up by Hopkins.
Hey, and Nate Newton is down on the play. I guess he's going to be okay. Nate has a bad knee, and he's just playing on that knee. In fact, they were talking about maybe doing surgery on it. They decided just to let it go until the season's over, and he got thrown right at the end. He's a left guard here. What, 61? Nate Newton blocking his guy, pushes him right on beyond, and then someone rolled up the back of his leg.
So Aikman back to throw again with 29 seconds left. Retreats, grounds it in the direction of Emmitt Smith.
I think Reggie White made him ground that, Pat. As Aikman was going to throw it, Reggie White, 92, made a heck of a pass rush, came around with his right arm and knocked that ball out of there. Watch Reggie White. He's right here. This guy is the most dominating defensive lineman in football. When he wants to rush like this, he's so big, so strong, you're not going to block him. He grabs him with his left hand and brings the right arm around and chops it out of there.
The field goal try is 35 yards away. And finally, they can use the scoreboard. Dallas, 33-yard field goal by Elliott. And they lead 3-0.
I was worried about that. We're going to go to Terry and Greg at halftime for scores and highlights. We didn't have any score. At least we give them a score.
We had some highlights.
Yeah. They had enough shots. I mean, the Eagles' defense is a great defense. But doggone, you just can't take that many shots. I mean, I think them holding the Cowboys to 3-0 for one half is an amazing feat by this Eagle team.
Still 21 seconds left to play in the first half. The Eagles have all of their timeouts remaining.
That's Richie Kotite talking to Dick Wood there, one of his offensive coaches. And I think he looks like he's begging, is there anything we can do? Do you have any ideas? How can we get things in sync? What are they doing? What can we do? We better talk at halftime, and they have to get something going offensively.
Seidner, Sikahema, back deep. Elliott's kickoff's a good one. Almost goes out of the end zone, and they stay in there. The Eagles take over with 21 seconds. 21 seconds left to play in the first half. The Eagles have all of their timeouts remaining.
I would think with this and the way the Eagles have been going in this first half that they would probably just run the clock out here. I mean, I don't think you have to take an 80-yard shot here and have anything bad happen just before halftime.
They have one first down, 22 yards in total offense. 21 seconds again remaining in the first half. Cunningham gives to Walker. Walker, left side, stopped by James Washington. He got 8, but that'll be the last play of the first half. And as you said, John, the way that offense, the Eagle offense particularly, has been going, just don't take any chances. Nothing. That's the end of the first. I beg your pardon. That's the end of the first half with the score 3-0 now. Dallas leading Philadelphia.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Cadillac, changing the way you think about American automobiles. Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. And by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, the special delivery company.
Fasten your seatbelt.
1, 2, 3. Every time in their face.
We got about 15. But we up for it.
He's back. Boomer Esiason. Jerry Rice. John Elway. Thurman Thomas.
What? Can't believe we blew that play. It's time to rumble! They took it to the biggest, baddest defense and jammed it right down their throat.
Time to get back on the top. Starting today.
Was that ever spectacular? This place is a madhouse. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Let's go, we got the ball.
Fasten your seatbelts for the NFL experience.
You better believe it, baby. Yes! Woo!
If you took away a star for every 1 million people who didn't vote, and a stripe for every 5 million non-voters, and a patch of blue for the 10 million people who didn't care, exactly what kind of flag are we waving?
Evan Bayh claims he has nothing to do with property taxes. Simply not true. Bayh overspent on welfare and covered it up by withholding and cutting funds to local schools. Thus, Bayh directly forced property taxes to increase $123 million. Stop the excuses, Evan. You're causing tax increases. Lynn Pearson, like Governor Doc Bowen, will give property tax relief. Vote Lynn Pearson for governor. Now Bayh is waiting till after the election to reveal his newest way to raise taxes.
Over 1 million people each week walk into AutoZone, and taking care of them means having what they need when they need it. That means stocking a lot of parts for a lot of cars. Now, nobody can stock everything, but we stock more than most. And how do we know which ones to carry? That's easy. We listen to our customers, because nobody knows better about what you want than you. So the next time you walk through that door, you might think of yourself as a customer, but we think of you as the boss.
He grew up here, he lives here, he works here.
Luke Kenley.
He's in touch with our hopes and dreams.
Luke Kenley.
He's in touch with our wants and needs.
This is where I was raised, and this is home, and so I want it to be a good place to be, and I want my kids to have a chance for the future.
He's in touch with the people. Luke Kenley for State Senate, a citizens legislator in touch with the people.
The Cowboys are doing a lot of various blocking schemes, and all of them are successful. Here's what they did very early. One of the things, look at, they take Novacek, the tight end, and instead of normally lining him up here, they put him over Clyde Simmons. This affords Simmons to go up the field, which will help Tuanay, the tackle. Now, instead of putting Johnston, the fullback, here he is, normally he lines up here. He comes over, and he doubles up with Eric Williams on Reggie White. So you get a double, you get almost a double by the release of the tight end. Simmons goes up, and Troy Aikman with lots of time. Little play action, not much there. But look at this, up the field, look at nothing. No pressure, passes drop. But the key here is the fact that they've doubled both Simmons and White. And in the first half, Aikman's only been sacked one time. For the most part, he has had plenty of time to throw medium and deep routes with basically no one in his face.
And with all that firepower on the field, Lynn Elliott's 35-yard field goal, the only points on the board. Dallas leads at 3-0. In Phoenix, the Cardinals have held the 49ers scoreless in the first half, 10-0. I'll let you explain this play, Terry.
I don't know if I can, Greg, but notice Bono turns and fires deep to the left, and it's intercepted by Dexter Davis. Now here's the effort. Down the field he goes, cutting inside, spinning, dodging. Look at this. Says, whoops, I'm still not down. Now the lateral to Tim McDonald. He's running over everybody. He's not through. He goes back to the left, and here we go with rugby football. Finally, Phoenix recovers. How's that?
The key for the 49ers in this game is that Steve Young, the quarterback, started the game but has left with complications from the flu, and Steve Bono is quarterbacking now, but the Cardinals lead at 10-0 at halftime. Earlier today, the New Orleans Saints held off Tampa Bay, beating them 23-21. This is the game Vinny Testaverde was benched for. Steve DeBerg started at quarterback, and Dalton Hilliard.
Dalton Hilliard can run inside the tackles and wide. Powerful LSU graduate. Look at that, Greg. 7 tackles. He breaks every one of them to score for for New Orleans.
Sam Weiss says, get it going, and Reggie Cobb just that. 4 yards out, and the Bucs grab the lead 21-20. But with 9:14 to play in the game, Morton Anderson 50 yards out. That's the gamer. The Saints win it 23-21. They win their 4th in a row. Tampa Bay loses scores its 4th straight. In Atlanta, the Falcons had all kinds of problems with the Los Angeles Rams, held off and won it by a score of 30-28. Chris Miller, knee injury, undergoing an MRI tonight for the ligaments outside on the left knee, and then Billy Joe Tolliver replaced it.
When a corner lays that far off of Michael Haynes, you can do any kind of route you want, inside, outside, quick hooks. Todd Light laid off him, scared to death of his speed, made no difference.
Rams did everything right except win the game. Cleveland Gary, 144 yards rushing. Jim Everett, 4 touchdown passes, but the Rams fall to 3-5. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers have taken sole possession of first place in the AFC Central, beating the Oilers. Warren Moon, hit by Rod Woodson after releasing the ball here, suffered a concussion. He went out. On came Cody Carlson.
Cody Carlson out of Baylor, big strong arm, but plays behind Moon. Nice shot there to Webster Slaughter. Touchdown, giving the Oilers the lead.
13-7 was the score. Here comes Neil O'Donnell for Eric Green.
You're going to play man coverage inside the 10-yard line, run tight end zone crossing routes. Greg, they're wide open.
26 seconds left. Al Del Greco could win it for the Oilers. He did not. It sailed wide. Del Greco missing from 39 yards out. Steelers alone in first place, 21-20 the final score. At Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, halftime, the Bengals on 2 Boomer Esiason touchdown passes lead the Cleveland Browns 14-3. Earlier today at the Meadowlands, the Jets over Miami, 26-14. Ken O'Brien getting the start at quarterback for Browning. Nagel to Johnny Mitchell.
3 touchdown passes for O'Brien today. Lost his job to Nagel, but every time he plays against the Jets and Marino, he always has a great game, and 9 times out of 10, it seems like the Jets win.
Marino was sacked twice by the Jets today. This one by Marvin Washington for a safety. The Dolphins started the season 6-0. They've now lost 2 straight. Don Shula doesn't know what's happening, but the Jets win their second of the year, 26-14 the final. Final in Buffalo, the Bills over the Patriots 16-7, fell behind by a touchdown and trailed at halftime 7-0. Sean McCarthy now can't handle the snap, and he's down in the end zone for a safety, and the Bills go ahead 9-7, and then Jim Kelly for James Lofton.
Notice a little semi-roll by Kelly, and very seldom will you be able to turn and throw across the field inside the 20 and not have a safety pick that ball off. Jim, I think, got very lucky there, or at least they knew a lot more about that coverage than I did.
New England's 0-8 start is their worst start in franchise history. San Diego and the Colts, the Chargers lead at 5-0 at halftime at Jack Murphy Stadium, and at the Silverdome in Pontiac, the Lions lost to the Green Bay Packers 27-13 earlier today. And the NFL continues on CBS after this word from your local station.
If they voted for the woman they hated most, she'd win in a landslide. Who are they? The feminists. Who is she? You'll meet her tonight on 60 Minutes.
With a little help from their friends.
This is your basic bustier.
Jack and Wally are exchanging first gifts.
We appear to be in the naughty video section. Shame on us.
Will they shop till they drop?
There are naked women right behind that curtain. They shouldn't allow men in here. What if I were Kennedy?
It's Love and War Monday.
This is CBS.
There's one thing Evan Bayh and Lindley Pearson agree on. Tim Bookwalter's not fit to be Attorney General. Bookwalter says he's running to be the people's lawyer, but he didn't pay his own employees withholding taxes required by law. He spent thousands soliciting drunk drivers as clients. I know they'll pay my fees, he claimed. Even Bookwalter's former partner says he is unfit for Attorney General. Pam Carter, Attorney General, the only choice.
Why does the taste of Gino's Pizza Rolls always soar way above ordinary snacks? Let's look inside this pretzel and this Gino's Pizza Roll. Inside the pretzel, dust. Inside Gino's Pizza Rolls, the taste of hot, delicious pizza. What a winner! Mmm, the irresistible taste of pizza in this hot little bite-sized snack. Gino's Pizza Rolls, the pizza way to snack. Now get 25% more Gino's Pizza Rolls free.
Lindley Pearson's latest negative ad is just plain wrong. Once again, Pearson is distorting Bayh's record. Evan Bayh didn't raise any taxes, and he provides more than $600 million in property tax relief a year. Bayh's welfare reform has removed people from welfare, so don't be fooled. Remember Pearson's primary campaign? One paper called it the dirtiest, most deceptive, most disgusting campaign we can ever recall. Lindley Pearson's ads. Deceptive, dirty, disgusting. Enough.
Wish TV puts education first.
In front of a packed house at Texas Stadium, the Cowboys lead the Eagles 3-0 at the half.
Gray. It's how black would look if it could just lighten up a little. Flint and steel, stone and mist. Gray. A color for any age, any time. And nobody does gray like Dockers.
3 cops take on a fire starter who thinks he's immortal.
If this room goes, you go with it. That's impossible.
The Hat Squad, Wednesday.
It happened to boyfriend number 1.
He died.
It's happened to every boyfriend since.
You can't be expected to break old habits overnight.
But when Maggie falls for a boy in a plastic bubble...
It's just that he seems so lonely.
Will he be your next fatal attraction?
He wants to be in a bubble. He's hiding from you.
Thank you very much.
Emmy-winning Northern Exposure returns Monday.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Norelco patented lift and cut shavers we make close comfortable. And by Energizer brand batteries. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and going and going.
Back at Texas Stadium. Low scoring, almost a no scoring first half. Randall Cunningham with Seth Joyner. The Eagles have 2 yards passing and 28 yards running in the first half. Cunningham 3 out of 8 for 13, the 1 interception.
And Randall Cunningham is in a funk, and I mean, it looks like Seth Joyner, who is a high energy guy, is trying to give him some energy, give him some confidence, give him something, saying, you know, this is your game, just relax, let it go and play. He's only completed passes to his running backs. He hasn't completed passes to his tight end or a wide receiver. He has a Fred Barnett out there. Somewhere you think they're going to have to get the ball to those guys.
As we begin the third quarter, Dallas leading 3-0. Again, they will not bring this one out. Seidner. Sikahema told him to stay in there.
Yeah, if you look at these stats, you would think that the score should be like 20 or 20, 30, 25, 30 to nothing. The Eagles only have 1 first down, 28 yards rushing, 2 yards passing. The turnovers is the same. Look at that time of possession.
And check the quarterback. Jim McMahon behind that mask. Takes over at quarterback for Randall Cunningham.
I had the feeling the Eagles had to do something.
Pitch to Walker. Walker with some room left side, doesn't do much. 5 yards for Herschel Walker, stopped by Norton.
You know, you could tell right just before halftime when we saw Richie Kotite talking to one of his offensive coaches, Dick Wood, there, that that's probably what they were talking about. If you want to make a change, you want to know it going in before you go in, so you have the whole halftime to get the other guy ready. I'm sure they don't want to lose Randall Cunningham and his confidence, but they want to get the momentum change in this thing and get something going offensively.
2nd and 5. The Eagles at their own 25. McMahon changing the play. Down to 5 seconds on the play clock. McMahon to throw it. Incomplete. Good coverage. Intended Calvin Williams. Thomas Everett up to make the hit, and he will do that.
And you know, somewhere here that Jim McMahon is a guy who likes to go maximum protection, keep the guys in, just get a couple of guys out, stay in the pocket and throw the ball. And somewhere, I'm sure they talked about at halftime, that he's going to try and get the ball to his outside receivers. I'll bet somewhere he's going to try and throw deep to Fred Barnett, but he needs better field position than this.
3rd and 5. Crowd on its feet and loud. Barnett to the right. McMahon out of the shotgun. But Fred Barnett complete, first down Philadelphia. First pass all day complete to a wide receiver.
And you know, when you have a guy like Fred Barnett, you have to get the ball to him, because if you don't get it to him, especially early. Some of these guys will lose interest in the game. I know Jerry Rice is that way. You got to get the ball to him, get him involved in the game, get him competing. When you don't get a guy the ball in the first half, then you better come out and get it to him right away in the second half. Jim McMahon just did that.
1st and 10, Philadelphia at the 40. Byers and Walker behind McMahon. Walker. He drags some Cowboy tacklers. Tony Tolbert and Robert Jones dragged Walker down. 8-yard gain for Walker.
Again, after you complete a couple of passes and then they think you're going to pass, then you get in pass rush. Now you got that defense loosened up a little. Especially, that's why you like to get the ball to a wide receiver. Kind of spread it out, get them back off where they're not ganging up and you're running your short stuff.
This is the first action for Jim McMahon since preseason. But he's a guy that wherever he goes commands respect. McMahon going deep. Hope. And Calvin Williams came back to make the catch. A gain of 37. Hope back there with him. A flag on the play.
Oh, and that's going to be against Calvin Williams because he just picked the ball up. The flag wasn't out there, or at least the first one. The second one, he just picked the ball up and he threw it at Isaac Holt. Again, sometimes you just have to get your ball deep. We talked about spread them out, throw that thing up there deep. Here it's a one-on-one. Calvin Williams wins the jump ball. See, now he taunted there. He shouldn't have done that. Holt throws it back. He shouldn't have done that. Williams throws it back.
A lot of shouldn't have done it.
Well, so I think they called them both for shouldn't have done it, so it was offsetting penalty. They called Holt for throwing it at Williams for throwing it at Holt, but Williams started it by putting it in Holt's net.
Williams got 2 throws to Holt's 1. No penalty. They offset. Williams wide right, Barnett to the left. Byers in motion, McMahon the quarterback. Jim McMahon to the 5. He's not supposed to do that.
I don't think you can say that about McMahon. He's not supposed to do it. The minute you say to Jim McMahon, hey, you're not supposed to do it, I'll guarantee you one thing, he's going to do it.
Whatever it is.
Includes running with the ball. You give him a crack, any quarterback, and he's going to find it. One thing about Jim McMahon, he's not going to go down. I mean, he's still trying to make moves, and he doesn't do one of those slide jobs in there. He goes into anything he does head first.
1st and goal at the 5. First serious offense by Philadelphia all day. Dallas leading 3-0. Byers in motion. Handoff Walker. Walker to about the 4, 3.5. Maybe he got a yard, maybe 2. Vincent Smith, Ken Norton.
This is a tough thing for Cunningham because Randall Cunningham is a star, and you think of yourself as a star and you want to be a leader. And just, things have been going bad. He's been in a slump the last few weeks, and you just feel that he's trying to take the whole pressure of the offense of the Eagles on his shoulder. And maybe just a little change of pace like this may be just what he needed.
Nothing physically wrong with him, but McMahon has put together the best Eagle drive of the day. 2nd and goal. Walker. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
That's what Richie Kotite was talking about just before the half. We got to change this thing. We got to change the momentum. How do we do it? Let's bring in McMahon. And the feeling it was just going to be a matter of time until they did make that change today.
Officially a 2-yard run for Walker.
But the big thing he did is he came and he loosened up that defense, and he opened it up by throwing and hitting his wide receivers.
Ruzick for the extra point. And the Eagles take the lead. 7-3. 10:24 left to play in the 3rd quarter. The touchdown again.
Good lead block there by Byers. Herschel Walker got everything going straight ahead.
You're looking at a small miracle. It's called an electronic twin-panel sunroof. It's a piece of automotive technology unlike any you've ever seen before. But then, so is this. Introducing the BMW 525i Touring. Lease a BMW 525i Touring for under $500 a month.
Norelco doesn't just shave close, but incredibly close. Or merely shave in comfort, but exceptional comfort. Because inside Norelco's floating heads, our lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can drop below skin level without the blades touching your face. And once you've shaved that close and comfortable, you know you'll always be comfortable shaving with Norelco. Norelco, we make close comfortable.
The Lone Ranger.
Who was that masked man who stopped the horses?
I don't know, but he give me this.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer battery. It keeps going and going and...
Yeah, here's the hole. It's going to be right here. Casillas works out. Robert Jones fills. Keith Byers, boom, makes a good lead block right there. And Herschel Walker just follows him in. Casillas out, boom. Jones doesn't really do a good job of taking that block on. You have to take it on square. He turned, and Byers, that's why Byers is in there leading.
Alexander did a good job as well.
Look at Jim McMahon. I mean, he's talking to Randall Cunningham there, and he's laughing about what he did. And I think he's laughing about that one that he threw to Calvin Williams, where he just threw it up there.
Well, like you said, sometimes you have to do that. Just get something deep.
Yeah, you know, I mean, some of you always use that thing. Go out and make something happen.
Line drive kickoff, bounces away from Martin, and he downs it in the end zone. Dallas in the first half, and where they started. Their own 20, their own 22. They had a punt both times, then they fumbled. Then they missed field goals twice. They finally scored those 3 points. That's the way it was at the end of the half. Now it's 7-3 Philadelphia.
You know, Jim McMahon talking there. His favorite guys are always the offensive linemen. I mean, after they make a touchdown, he always goes up, congratulates them with a headbutt. When, you know, he meets with them, he always rooms with an offensive lineman like Ron Heller, and he knows what you need to play in this league.
Aikman will throw on first down and go deep. Irvin across the middle. Stopped by Booty. 21-yard pickup. Golick put a hit on Aikman.
Hey, one thing about Michael Irvin, he is so big that he can get by a press. One thing the Eagles wanted to do was press or get up tight on those receivers. Michael Irvin can get by it. That's a pass protection here. Eric Williams doing a pretty good job just getting that right hand up on Reggie White.
First down, Cowboys at their own 41. Eagles leading 7-3. Will throw it on first down. He has Novacek. Out of bounds at the Eagle 35 by Rich Biano. Right now for an NFL update, let's send you again to our New York studio.
All right, Pat, strange doings in Phoenix. 49ers quarterback Steve Bono to Brent Jones over the middle. He fumbles. Eric Hill picks it up, and it's just taken away from him right there by Mike Sherrard, who goes 39 yards. With the extra point, Phoenix's lead is now 17-7 in the third quarter, Pat.
At Texas Stadium in Philadelphia, Pat Summerall with John Madden, 7-0. Philadelphia leading. Emmitt Smith in the middle. A yard, not much more.
You know, it's funny, Pat. Maybe it took Jim McMahon just to open this game up. The first half was very conservative at just 3 points by the Cowboys. Then McMahon comes in, boom, he's throwing bombs. Guys are fighting, taunting, doing the whole thing, getting it in. And then the Cowboys get the ball, then Aikman starts opening it up. So maybe we just had a little sparring thing in that first half, and we're going to start opening things up here in the second half.
McMahon can light a spark. The Eagles come after Aikman, and the pass is batted down. Clyde Simmons, who's 6'6", knocked it away.
I think one thing, when you have the Cowboy team, though, you don't want to forget Emmitt Smith. Here they use Emmitt Smith, again, to go the play pass and to block. But as you said, Clyde Simmons got a little push up the middle, boom, got his right hand up and knocked the ball down.
3rd and 9 coming up for Dallas. They're at the Eagle 33.5. Spread them out with 3 wide receivers. Kelvin Martin in the slot. He makes the reception for a Dallas first down. Fine catch.
I tell you, you come into this game and you say Michael Irvin is a wide receiver or Harper, and then running back, you got Emmitt Smith. But the guy so far that's made all the plays is Kelvin Martin. They bring him in like the 3rd wide receiver, and again, he's catching a lot of those passes in the area where normally the tight end would catch the ball. He's already had 5 catches today.
Right now, he gets a rest. Darrell Johnston splits wide to the left. Martin's in the slot, and he goes in motion. Aikman back to throw it again. Come on. Kelvin Martin. Touchdown.
That same move that Gary Clark made it a week ago. He started in on John Booty. Booty stopped, and then he stopped and pivoted to the outside. He made the move after he had the ball.
Extra point's good. And again, the Cowboys lead by 3. 7:33 left to play in the 3rd quarter. A very conservative, quiet first half has turned into a raucous arena.
And if you have to say who's been the star for the Dallas Cowboys so far, it's this guy right here, Kelvin Martin, 6 catches.
And that touchdown.
Budweiser will make the world rumble, rattle, and roll when 2 of the most devastating powers on Earth collide. Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe. Live on pay-per-view from the Mirage, only one will walk away the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Brought to you by the King of Beers.
Today, for the first time in half a century, America is not at war. And America's wartime economy is changing to a peacetime economy. But that change has brought fear and uncertainty. The fear of losing a job, of losing a home, the uncertainty of tougher economic competition from around the world. But with change comes opportunity. And my agenda for American renewal can be the bridge to the future. It provides a choice of quality schools so our children have the knowledge to compete. It provides job training so workers have the new skills to compete. It provides health care for all and controls spiraling costs so our people can afford to compete. And my agenda strengthens small businesses that create 2 of every 3 jobs so we have the new jobs to compete. Today, we stand at the threshold of a new era. We change the world around us. Together, we must do the same at home.
A town caught in a drug war.
Did you get the shooter?
And a witness marked for death.
Where's my son?
We need help, fast.
In the heat of the night, Wednesday.
10-7. Kelvin Martin's touchdown put the Cowboys back on top. Elliott's kickoff is again deep. Seidner will stay in the end zone, and they'll start at the 20. Little extracurricular activity, nothing serious. 10-7.
Oh, BKTV couldn't get any better chilling in Mount Rushmore with 4 dead presidents.
I love this place.
All right, now you guys listen up. I'm only gonna say this once. You get a choice: the chicken fillet, the steak sandwich, or the fried shrimp.
And of course, somebody could have had the Whopper basket. They're dinner baskets, and they're new.
George wants a steak sandwich. Thomas wants the chicken. And Teddy's doing shrimp. Abe hasn't made up his mind yet. But you better hurry up, because table service is only from 4 to 8. They're having it their way. Unison.
We love this place.
Did you hear it?
Start with your average quarterback. Excuse me, above average quarterback? And listen to the way he has to communicate. Pretty complicated, and that's just on the field. Now add coaches communicating with assistants upstairs, officials with the press box, teams with league headquarters, and they all have to communicate with each other. But the NFL talks to only one company to make that happen. GTE, telecommunications consultant to the NFL.
You're looking at a small miracle. It's called an electronic twin-panel sunroof. It's a piece of automotive technology unlike any you've ever seen before. But then, so is this. Introducing the BMW 525i Touring. Lease a BMW 525i Touring for under $500 a month.
Missing in action. What really happened?
We want the truth.
How far would you go to find out? 48 Hours, Wednesday.
Next Sunday, John and I will be in Detroit for the Lions and the Cowboys. Barry Sanders and the Lions destroyed Dallas last January in the playoffs as Sanders scored on this remarkable run. Sunday, the Cowboys look for revenge. The Lions and the Cowboys next Sunday on CBS. Right now, it's the Eagles and the Cowboys on CBS. Calvin Williams, the man in motion. Handoff is to Walker. Walker got a couple. Vincent Smith and Jimmy Jones.
Yeah, I think that's why you have a backup like a Jim McMahon, and you pay him so much money. And it's like the same reason the 49ers have a backup like Steve. And that when you need him, you don't need him to mop up. You don't need him, you know, when everything's over, you win a lead. You need him when you got a big game and there's an injury or things aren't going right. Things didn't go right in the first half of the Eagles. They needed a change, and this is why McMahon gets paid big money.
You don't need him to mop up, but you might need him to bail out, and that's what they're looking for right here. He's back to throw. Dumps it out to Byer. Cut down by Isaac Holt. A fine tackle by Holt.
That was a heck of a tackle by Holt, because when they were talking about Keith Byers earlier, how he finishes off runs, and usually when he catches a ball in the open field, he's going to make you pay for it. I think Holt knew that. Now watch where Holt tackles him, right around the ankles. There's no one in the world that has power in their ankles. So if you're going to tackle a powerful guy, get their ankles.
Don't forget that Byers can't use his off arm. The ball in one arm, the other hand he can't use because of that broken bone. Two broken bones, actually, on the same finger. McMahon to throw it. Incomplete, and no flag. Barnett, the intended receiver, covered by Brown.
Now, he had pressure that time, but at least he's bringing the receivers into the game. He spread this Cowboy defense out. They're getting a good pass rush, and again, the pressure, that's the guy you expected from right there, Charles Haley. Jim McMahon has changed this game around, not only for the Eagles, but for the Cowboys, too.
And for the crowd. The crowd is loud.
And everyone woke up. Hey, get out.
Eagles line drive kickoff. Bounce paces away from Kelvin Martin all the way down to the 10 and inside. So the Cowboys will take over all the way back at their own 8.
Well, look who's here.
Morning, Dennis.
Looks like you did all right. Yeah, not bad. We need 6 good ones for tonight.
Your brother's coming.
Better make it 8. Hey, look at that lobster. Don't worry, Scott. We got a couple for you.
Everybody get some pork.
This dinner doesn't need a thing.
Wait, it gets better.
Chardonnay.
Has the lobster ever tasted this good?
It's the time of year.
No, it's the wine.
Ernest and Julio Gallo present a very special Chardonnay. It's time for a change to Gallo.
From one of the most celebrated filmmakers of our time comes the most unforgettable love story of all time. Bram Stoker's Dracula, a Francis Ford Coppola film, rated R, at theaters Friday.
Castrol GTX is the only leading motor oil that meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown in every grade. This is the only way to get that kind of performance from any other leading brand. Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
July 1992, Oldsmobile redefines quality. The Oldsmobile Achieva went head-to-head against Honda Accord and Toyota Camry in a 100,000-mile real-world test. The independent test results prove Achieva beat them both with lower total cost, which consists of maintenance, repair, and operating costs. Quality has been redefined by Achieva and the company that went far enough to prove it. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
You are watching the National Football League on CBS Sports.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Dallas Cowboys, and the National Football League is prohibited.
You didn't recognize that voice?
I'll tell you, I think the key to that voice is the way he said without.
Now Wayne Gretzky. This is Emmitt Smith. I don't know, John. Things are sort of slipping away from us.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, when guys are out of work, Wayne Gretzky, the great one, is not playing. He's injured and doesn't have anything to do. So just in life, the more things you can do.
I guess.
There's Isaac Holt there who did one of them.
Boy, that was good. Second down and about 6. Aikman to throw. Just picked off by Byron Evans. And Evans gives the Eagles a ball deep in Dallas territory.
That's what Jimmy Johnson was worried about yesterday, the turnovers. He said, when we lost 31-7, he said, that's how we got killed by the turnovers. Last night talking to Richie Kotite, he said, you know, when you talk about middle linebackers in this league, the guy who's playing the best is number 56, Byron Evans. And he's one of those guys, a lot like Kurt Govea, that does all the right, he's always in the right position, a very smart football player that always knows where he's supposed to be and what to do when he gets there.
1st and 10, Philadelphia. The ball about the Dallas 12. Cowboys leading by 3. McMahon gives to Walker. Walker perhaps a yard before he stopped by the middle linebacker Robert Jones. Maybe he didn't even get a yard.
Hey, you're talking about Byron Evans here making a big play, probably the biggest play defensively of this game so far for the Eagles. And you remember last week that play that he made on the goal line. We talk about football and being in the pits and on the goal line. Byron Evans made one of the biggest hits I've ever seen on a goal line last week against the Cardinals.
He's just got those instincts.
I know, and that's the thing. That's the thing a middle linebacker has to do. You can't teach a lot of that stuff.
Jim McMahon, the quarterback. Walker and Byers behind him. McMahon a long count. Haley hit him just as he let it go. Byers made the reception. Byers rattled to the ground at about the 8. Larry Brown and Thomas Everett, but he got 6.
Yeah, and Byers almost didn't get out of the backfield. If you watch it right up there in the top, you see he gets knocked off right there, trips, stumbles, and gains his composure and gets the ball. And talking about composure, how did McMahon get through that one? But watch by him. He slips and falls down there. McMahon gets hit just as he throws it. That's a heck of a play that came very close to not happening.
Haley hit McMahon just as he let it go. Fires flank to the left. They need 4 for a first down. McMahon chased out of the pocket. He was limping a bit early. Incomplete, intended for Walker, and no penalty marker down. Haley again with the pressure on McMahon.
There's a penalty down there in the right. I think there's a fight. And again, it was Isaac Holt and Calvin Williams. Remember earlier, they were taunting. The play was over, and it was down in the right-hand corner of the end zone.
Way away from the ball.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 30, defense. After the play.
Oh, that has to be a stupid penalty. The play was over. They had stopped him on 3rd down. Here it is right here. It'll be down in this corner, in the lower right-hand corner. You look at it right there, right in the corners where it starts. And again, that's something that's been going on all the time. Calvin Williams and Isaac Holt. Again, it looked like Calvin Williams started it.
The penalty against Isaac Holt moves the ball down to the 4 and an automatic first down, more importantly.
You know, Calvin Williams, I think, did start that one again, but Isaac Holt has been around long enough. You know, when someone does it and it's 3rd down and it's incomplete and the play's over, you just turn at the guy and you laugh at him and you walk away. You get your hat. Take the helmet and walk off the field and laugh at him.
Especially in a game like this tight and as big as it is to both teams.
Calvin Williams had a big play in Taunton. He's had 2 taunts. The Cowboy defense looked like they were the ones that confused, jumped all over. McMahon took the timeout.
Dallas 10-7 over the Eagles.
Happy birthday to you.
If you'd spent the last 95 years selling cars, you'd make a big deal out of it too. It's Oldsmobile's 95th birthday celebration, and your local dealer has great deals on every model, like this Achieva. Lease it for only $209 a month and get automatic transmission, anti-lock brakes, air, power door locks, AM/FM stereo with cassette, and more. Check it out. Oldsmobile's 95th birthday celebration. It's a big deal.
Yo, this is Jazzy Jeff. And how did I get my starter hat to look like this? The Jazzy Jeff breakdown. First you grab the hat, then you grip the hat, then you flip the hat. Make sure it's a starter hat. Then you raise the hat, then you slam the hat, then you twist the hat, then you turn the hat, then you spin the hat, then you smooth the hat. But hey, don't forget, look for the star.
It seems Europeans have a passion for certain things American. And one of them happens to be the reliable, efficient delivery of a certain American delivery company, UPS. Fact is, we've built the most comprehensive delivery network in Europe. So next time you need something shipped there, use the outfit Europeans find, well, so fashionable. UPS. We run the tightest ship in Europe.
Concern on the face of Jimmy Johnson as the Eagles have it 1st and goal with the 3. His team leading by 3. At Summerall with John Madden at Texas Stadium. The first half ended with the Cowboys leading 3-0. The Eagles came roaring out. They begin the 3rd quarter, and now they're back after the interception by Byron Evans. 1st and goal. This is Walker. Touchdown, Philadelphia, and now the scramble. The official signaled touchdown, and now the one on the other side says the ball was down. He's pointing down.
One guy is saying the ball's there. He tells the referee. signaled touchdown, and one said, pointed to the ground, that the ball was down. What he's saying is, it's where the ball is when your knee goes down. Now, there's no knee down yet. That's a touchdown. They brought it out. Once the ball crosses the plane, then if it comes back or not, it doesn't make any difference.
The official on the other side did signal touchdown on the lower side of your picture.
Yeah, you see the ball right there. It's a touchdown. It crossed the plane.
2nd and goal. Walker again hit in the backfield. Spun away from Tony Casillas. No gain. Vincent Smith finally wrapped him up. He got away from Casillas and didn't lose any yardage.
Yeah, last week we remember that goal line stand of the Eagles. Now the Eagles are on the other end of it. Here's a previous play now, Pat. This isn't the last play. This is again, it's where the ball is when the knee goes down. The knee's not down yet. The ball breaks the plane. So what happens after that doesn't count. Once it breaks the plane, it's a touchdown. That should have been a touchdown.
Right now it's 3rd and goal at the 1. McMahon. Jump shot to the end zone, incomplete. And the Cowboys hang on, intended for Walker.
And the guy that has to feel the best right now is Isaac Holt. Because they had him stopped on 3rd down, and he got in a fight down there with either Calvin Williams or Fred Barnett.
Maybe both.
I know, but he got in the fight down there, and then that brought the penalty. So, again, they're right back where they started from.
An 18-yard field goal set up for Roger Ruzek. Shorter than an extra point. Eagles holding. And we have another tie at 10. The first half stayed at 0-0 until the Cowboys finally got a field goal. And now it's all even again.
And Isaac Holt is a happy guy because it was a 3rd down play where he got the unnecessary roughness penalty. It was a fight after the play was over. He knows, he's been around 8 years. He knows that he should have gotten off there. But when that happens, if you're a defensive back in this league, the worst thing you can have is a memory. When a play is over, you have to forget it. And Jimmy Johnson is talking to him there about it.
Is that what you would have done as a coach? Say, hey, think of the situation.
In fact, that was what Jimmy Johnson, you see, he said, point right into his head, use your head. It's easy to say when you're not in the heat of battle, but if you're a competitor and some guy, whether it was Fred Barnett or Calvin Williams, is down there and they're throwing punches and taunting and so on, it's hard to walk. That's the right thing to do. You have to walk away, but it's hard to do in the heat of the battle. You just throw something, and then the next thing you know, the guy throws a flag on you.
Sometimes that's hard to do in any situation. Just walk away.
Yeah, that's in. But that's what you think an 8-year veteran. That's what Jimmy Johnson, I'm sure, was telling him, that we'd stopped him. The play was over. Just be happy and just give him your back to read.
Martin and Holmes back deep for Ruzek's kickoff, and it's a good one. But he'll bring it out. Calvin Martin. He will wish he didn't bring it out. Brent Hager down to make the stop. These are all finals. They all took place earlier today. Green Bay beat Detroit. The Jets over Miami. New Orleans continues to roll. 49ers losing at the moment to Phoenix. And the Saints would move into a tie for first. Very quietly.
I think the Cowboys did dodge a bullet down there because I think Herschel Walker crossed the plane, and I think that should have been a touchdown.
1st and 10, Cowboys from their own 11. Smith with room. Emmett Smith still on his feet. Chased by Hopkins. Emmett Smith inside the Eagle 40. 51 yards for Emmett Smith. Byron Evans blitz, and they took advantage of it.
start towards Evans, and then everything was going to that left. Emmitt Smith started to the left. Boom, he saw that big cutback lane there. He took it. The only guy that can catch him is Eric Allen coming from the other side of the field.
Emmitt Smith has 18 carries and 104 yards.
Emmitt Smith made that play because it was a good defensive call. They were blitzing right into the run. Emmitt Smith started there and took a cutback away from the blitz.
See if Emmitt's tired. No. To the right side. A gain of 5. Rich Miano up to make the stop. Maybe he is tired.
Some running backs get better when they're tired. I think that the defense get a little tired, they get a little tired, and they just instincts take over. If you talk to most running backs, they will usually do better after they carry the ball 10 or 12 times than they will the first 10 or 12 times they carry the ball.
He's had it 19 times. 2nd and 6, 10-10 tie, the Eagles and Cowboys. They ain't going to throw it. Had it and dropped it again. You don't think it's wrong to say drop it again, do you?
No, it's right to say. I mean, he's a guy, we talked about this, the broken finger, and then you have to adjust because he's a guy who's always caught the ball with his hand. Then you have the broken finger, and now he's trying to adjust, and he's trying to catch the ball with his body or against his body. And what the ball's doing is getting too close, hitting his shoulder pads, and just bouncing out.
3rd and 6 at the Eagle 33. There's Aikman. Gets it to Martin. And they fling him around and backwards. Wes Hopkins does. Down to the 30. A gain of 3.
I think the Cowboys thought they had to be able to run today. Emmitt Smith had to be able to run. The Eagles thought they had to stop Emmitt Smith, and now he has over 100 yards.
Here comes Elliott for his 4th field goal try of the day. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Dallas 10, Philadelphia 10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
From young families to seniors, the skyrocketing cost of health care is a threat to all Hoosiers, and we've got to stop it. With 3 kids, Marcia and I know what an unexpected trip to the doctor can do to a family budget. My Health Save proposal will substantially lower the cost of health care by reforming insurance, increasing competition, and using common sense approaches like home health care when it's best for our loved ones. Give me a call for my ideas on making health care more affordable for all Hoosiers.
It was 8 o'clock now, right? Yeah. My truck wouldn't start. And the lights worked, but the engine wouldn't turn over. So I figured it must be the starter, right? Well, I went to AutoZone. They said, let's test it. Turns out it was okay. So we tested my battery and found that it just didn't have enough juice to crank it. Now get this. I didn't have to spend a dime, because they even charged my battery for free. Get out of here. That kind of service? Hey, you just can't beat it.
The 93 Toyotas are here for the show of the year at Butler Toyota Warehouse. The new car spotlight is on the all-new 93 Corolla. Lease it now for just $492 a month with no down payment. Or make your best deal now on a beautiful new Camry, just $232 a month while they last. And for 4 days only, get low 6.9% financing and no payments for 90 days. Get Indiana's lowest Toyota price guaranteed. It's showtime only at Butler Toyota Warehouse.
Thanks for making Wish TV Indiana's most watched television station.
10-10 tie at Texas Stadium. The Eagles and the Cowboys. An NFC East rivalry as perhaps unmatched anywhere else in professional football. You look at how the teams have performed in the 4th quarter. Elliott from 48 yards this time. That's going to get there. And the Cowboys have the lead back.
Of course, that one you have to credit the great the great goal line defense and the big run by Emmitt Smith.
13-10 Dallas.
What's that?
It's a consumer survey. They want to know if you're happy with your car.
Oh, I am.
Oh, I know. And as of last night, so does everybody at the Martins' dinner party.
In its first year, the all-new Toyota Camry moved thousands to appreciate that a car could be everything you want and even more than you imagined.
You gave 2 complete strangers a 20-minute test drive.
15. I was 15.
The 1993 Toyota Camry. Few cars actually move you. This is one.
It's 30 below. You've got a cold, cough. You've got a real problem.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus.
I have no sneezes, no coughs, no runny nose. I took Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough this morning.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough. It's tough medicine.
Watch the election returns Tuesday night and see once again the power of the two-party system as MCI unveils its agenda for change in telecommunications for American business.
Everybody used to come in and say, you know, the R in your sign is backwards. Kids play with the same toys everywhere. People in Japan are no different than the people in the United States, no different than the people in Canada. They want things for their children, and the lower the price, the more they'll buy. I buy the majority of my purchases with the American Express card. It's simpler for me, period.
American Express is welcome to Toys R Us and other fun spots.
This game summary is sponsored by Energizer brand batteries.
At the beginning of the third quarter, Jim McMahon replaced Cunningham at the Eagle quarterback spot. The Eagles have 121 yards, Dallas 309, Emmitt Smith 19 carries, 108 yards. That seems to be sort of a barometer for a running back to get over 100 yards against this Eagle defense. Elliott's kickoff is deep and good. Seidler downs it deep in the end zone.
You know, and the funny thing about that is the Eagles played it pretty well. You're going to see Johnston here. He's going to lead. Byron Evans is going to hit it here. Emmitt Smith starts here. Then watch the hole that he comes back here. Byron Evans reads 48 Johnston. He goes in there and takes on the lead. Emmitt Smith leaves the lead and goes the other way, and there's no one there until Eric Allen comes all the way across.
1st and 10, the Eagles at their own 20. Opening seconds of the final quarter, and the Cowboys leading 13-10. Jim McMahon, the Philadelphia quarterback. Screen pass to Byers. Good room. Byers cut down by Everett. An Eagle first down, a gain of 18.
Yeah, that's one thing about Keith Byers is he can have a bad knee. He got his knee hurt against the Redskins. He has a broken hand in 2 places, but he's one of those guys you just have to like on your side. I mean, he's a competitor. He knows this is a big game. He knows he has broken hands, casts, stuff holding things, but there's no way you're going to keep him out of this action.
Didn't play last week at all.
One good thing, he's left-handed, and his right hand is broken.
Byers again. Chase taken out of bounds. Everett again with Jeffcoat. A gain of a yard. And now McMahon has got to put it up.
I'll tell you, Jeffcoat is in there, and Charles Haley is out. I don't know if Haley is out. In fact, Jeffcoat is just waving for someone to come in, but I don't know. In fact, here comes Haley as we speak. But I didn't know if Haley was out just for a rest or if there was something wrong with Haley. But I think on a 2nd and long and 3rd and long, you want Charles Haley in there.
Somewhere.
Getting after that passer.
Well, he can do it. 2nd and long. McMahon back to throw it. Haley. McMahon got it to Byers. A gain of a couple of yards. Robert Jones kept Byers down.
You know, watch Haley here. What he does is he's going to take an inside move, but he takes about 3 guys with him, and he makes a pile right in front of the quarterback. Now, he doesn't have a lot of sacks this year, but what? 1, 2, 3 guys blocking him, and he's still in there raising havoc. That's what Charles Haley gives this Cowboy defense.
Talk about a guy that comes with a full load.
And comes with a motor running at 110 miles an hour, too.
Every play. 3rd down. They need 7 for a first. McMahon out of the shotgun. Haley again. Pressure incomplete. Alvin Williams, the intended receiver, covered by Gant.
I'll tell you one thing, the Eagles haven't had success on 3rd down, or the Cowboys have played great 3rd down defense. Look at it right here. 3rd down conversions. The Eagles are only 1 for 10.
2 of the best defenses, if not the 2 best defenses in football in this game. This will be Kelvin Martin. He is taken down by Hager. And the Cowboys will take over at about their own 21. 40-yard punt, 2-yard return.
Frederick Miller's finest beer called for the finest grain. A search that often led far afield. It's an idea whose time has come again. Introducing Miller Reserve, an all-barley draft brewed in the classic tradition. Reserve and Reserve Light. Taste what barley does for beer.
Do you want to fly where there are no runways? Do you want to swing where no one has swung before? Or do you want to surf where there is no ocean? And get yourself a Toyota 4Runner, because where you're headed, you don't want to be driving anything less.
Other laser printers have been playing leapfrog for years in a futile effort to catch up with the HP LaserJet. Now they're truly up against it. Hewlett-Packard introduces the HP LaserJet 4, a new generation, a new standard to reach for. Good luck, fellas. If it isn't a LaserJet, it's only a laser printer.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Miller Reserve, taste what barley does for beer. And by HP LaserJet printers. If it isn't a LaserJet, it's only a laser printer.
Dallas leading Philadelphia by 3, 13-10 with 12:29 left to play. Cowboys ball at their own 22. Gives to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith gets close to first down yardage. Stopped finally by Booty.
You know that old stat about time of possession, and they say it doesn't mean anything? It means a lot when your defense gets tired, and I think now we're starting to see it. We had that first half time of possession where the Eagles defense, this group was out on the field the whole first half. Now they've been out there darn near the whole first game. I mean, the whole game. And they're starting to get worn down, and now is when they start getting the big runs against them.
And this is when a running back like Emmitt Smith starts to really wear you down.
And that's what happened. And you know, the biggest part of that was in the first half. And they just had so many shots at that defense that I think they got worn down. They're a little slower now. They're not quick like they were in the first half.
Aikman fakes to Smith this time. Has to struggle. Has to come out of the pocket. Aikman. Another first down, Cowboys. 12 yards for Troy Aikman.
Yeah, one thing about Aikman, ever since he came into this league, he always had a good arm, a strong arm, could zip the ball, but he's gotten so much poise now. I mean, he's leaning where he's starting to look like Joe Montana out there, where, I'm not saying he is Joe Montana, but where he's starting to make things look easy. You know, it's not like everything is a struggle. Although he still has that big old chin strap on there because every year he gets hit somewhere up under the chin and splits it open.
Surprising, John, how fast he is.
Oh, yeah, he can run. I mean, he's not known as a runner or a scrambler, but he has good speed.
This is Emmitt Smith hit in the backfield, breaks away from one tackler, and now heads down the sideline. Close to another Dallas first down. They had him and lost him.
I think once you wear a defense down, and they've worn this Eagle defense down, I think this happens. You see the Cowboys are getting off on the ball well. They're not wrapping up in their tackles. They're just a step slower, so they have to start reaching. Early in the first half, boom, you could run through stuff. Now you start getting there, and you start reaching and grabbing and not hitting that same way you did earlier.
Emmitt Smith did get his first down.
I tell you, when Emmitt Smith ran off that field and you saw the sweat all over his body, he looked like what you call a workhorse. That was a picture running out of bounds of a workhorse.
Well, he's going to get some more work. Smith to the 36. A gain of 6.
There's two frustrated quarterbacks. One, Cunningham, because he couldn't get anything going at all in the first half and was replaced by McMahon, who has to be frustrated now because they can't get the ball back.
2nd and 4. Has to be frustrated about the inability to get it in when they had that break on the interception by Evans. They only got 3.
Yeah, and then one time it looked like Herschel Walker was in there. Then they got the Isaac Holt penalty, and they got 3 more tries and still couldn't do it.
Smith again. Smith's first down. He got 7 out of nothing.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier, where some running backs just tend to get stronger, to get more energy as they play, and Emmitt Smith is doing that. But I'll tell you who else is doing it, his offensive line. His offensive line in the first half didn't really have control of this game. They didn't have control in the third quarter. The Dallas Cowboy offensive line is taking control in this fourth quarter.
Smith again. Close to another Dallas first down.
And there is again is a picture of a workhorse, man. Their jersey's coming out. There's sweat going down both legs. This guy needs a break. But we talk about the offensive line and the guys are doing a job. There they are right there.
Why is it that the defensive line gets tired, but the offensive line doesn't?
I don't know, because they don't have to chase anyone. They know who they're going to block. They stay in a shorter area. But I'll tell you, one tired guy was Emmitt Smith. Did you see? I'd never seen a guy sweat like that in a long time outdoors.
This is Darrell Johnston. Flag on the play. Reggie White made the stop. Here comes Smith back.
Well, they aren't going to let him out for long. With a 13-10 lead, they don't feel confident at all when they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. They need more first downs that will end up in touchdowns, and they need Emmitt Smith.
Offside, number 96, defense, 5 yards, first down.
Simmons offside, 8:49 left to play. Dallas 13, Philadelphia 10.
You always talk in this game about the pass and the passing game, but this is why you need a running game. You need a running game to get first downs. You need a running game to get time off the clock. You need a running game to wear down the defense.
And now again, the Eagles with only 3 defensive backs and 4 linebackers. Cowboys with 2 tight ends. Johnston. Pitts was the first man to hit him.
I'll tell you, I'm sure that Norv Turner sees that up here, and this is an ideal time to play pass. I mean, the Eagles know with a 13-10 point lead, they're trying to keep them to a field goal down here. They only have 3 defensive backs in there. This is an ideal time to fake the run and throw a pass. Although it looks like the Eagles are coming back in. They know that. They just brought John Booty, their cornerback, in, so now they have 4 defensive backs.
And the Cowboys put in the 2 wide receivers.
That's the chess game.
Second down. Here's Aikman. There was a blitz. This is Johnston. Touchdown. Yards out.
He doesn't make a lot of plays, but this one is a big one. Watch Rich Miano, number 38, as he comes to tackle again. He's not wrapping his arm. He can't get to his arms because Johnston gave him that left stiff arm. Then he did that dive in the end zone, but he was already in there. Not a lot of plays, but that was a big, big one.
Elliott's extra point is good. And it's Dallas 20. The Eagles 10 with 7:39 left. It was a magical year for Eric Kramer and the Lions last season, and in the playoffs they annihilated the Cowboys. The Silverdome crowd got to celebrate Detroit's first postseason appearance since 1983. The Lions have struggled this year, and next week Dallas looks for revenge. The Lions and the Cowboys next Sunday on CBS.
That was Emmitt Smith a year ago there, but Emmitt Smith now is a happy, tired guy. I mean, he has emptied his tank.
Again, the kickoff sails into the end zone.
I mean, that's what a running back looks like after he's gained 100 yards against the Philadelphia Eagle defense.
Well, he told us yesterday all the soreness was gone. There has been some contact in this game.
Yeah, I think that that's Wes Hopkins, the hard-hitting free safety of the Eagles, and been getting stuff knocked out of them, including their contact.
The injured Cowboy is Tony Hill.
There's a shot of that group that has really done a heck of a job today. That offensive line there, the guy on the end of the bench right there, Eric Williams. He's had his job full there, having to block against Reggie White. He's going to be one of the great ones. Giesick, 61 there, big old Nate Newton. You see Nate, 2-A there, number 71. They sit just like they line up. That's the way offensive linemen do it. They go 2-A, Newton, Stepnoski, Giesick, and Williams.
Big old Nate's not as big as he was when the game started.
No, big old Nate's not as big as he was 6 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Big old Nate got up to 400 pounds. Went down and worked with some guy in Orlando, Florida. Got down to 290. Came to training camp at 290. Said he was too light. They were throwing him around like a doll. So he went up to 300. He said they were still throwing me around like a doll. He went up to 310. They're still throwing him. So he finally settled in 315 pounds. That'll keep you on the ground, he says. Talk about stats and what Charles Haley has added to this team. You can't just do his stats. He's going to come right here. This is just a speed rush. Just boom, he comes right around Smith, the tackle there. See him up there on top? That's just speed. Just runs right around him. McMahon didn't have a chance.
2nd and 18. McMahon to throw, chased by Haley again, gets it out to Sikahema. Taken down after a pickup of 11 yards. Norton and Gant. The Eagles hurry up.
Well, the Eagles know that they need 2 scores here, being down by 10 points. And under 7 minutes left, they can't think in terms of just 1 score.
3rd and 7. McMahon incomplete. Intended for Sikahema, incomplete. They'll have to punt.
Well, of course, the Eagles haven't had any success today on 3rd down, but a lot of that starts on 1st and 2nd down. If you don't gain anything on 1st and 2nd, then you get a lot of 3rd downs and you get a lot of 3rd and long.
How about what Nate Newton said to us yesterday when I asked him what was wrong with his knee? He said, Well, you know, a lot of weight, a lot of football, and a couple of car wrecks. I've had a good life.
He's had a good life. That's the way Nate Newton thinks. He's always a refreshing and popular guy to talk to.
Kelvin Martin fielded the punt at the 20. 56-yard punt by Fiegels. 6.5 minutes left to play. Dallas by 10.
It was funny when Jimmy Johnson was talking about the battles they have to win. Their defense had to win the battle against the Eagle offense. They probably did. The kicking game, I don't know. That could be close, but I'll tell you the battle he didn't expect to win, but he did, was his offense against the Eagle defense in the second half and being able to run with Emmitt Smith.
That was a battle of endurance as much as anything else. They just wore him down.
Yeah, and a lot of guts on Emmitt Smith. I mean,
boy.
I didn't have many doubts about it. I didn't have any doubts about it before, but I sure as heck don't now. There is one tough running back.
Aikman gives to Smith. William Thomas made the stop on Emmitt Smith. Keith Byers, Randall Cunningham.
So Cunningham, you know, it happens to players in baseball, and you know, they call it a slump, and it happens to players in football. You just get into where you're in a slump, and Randall Cunningham is in a slump.
Second down, about 9.5. Cowboys at their own 21. Just outside the 20, make it. Troy Aikman has gone all the way. Cunningham was replaced by McMahon. Novacek in motion. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith outside the 25 to the 26 for a gain of 6. Tripped by Golick. 3rd and 4 it'll bring up.
I tell you, they aren't going to take out Emmitt Smith, and yeah, I'm sure they're thinking, well, you got a 10-point lead. Why don't you take him out? Well, you don't need to rest the guy now, although they are taking him out. But this is against the Philadelphia Eagles, and Emmitt Smith is having a career day. When you start off and your name is E. Smith, and you end up and you're just Smith, you've had a tough day.
You lost the E for effort. Or excellence.
Excellence.
Pass incomplete in the direction of Irvin, but there was a flag on the play. Clyde Simmons rushed Aikman against the Eagles, and that'll be the first down. Clyde Simmons also is the man offside. Rich Kotite says, take it easy, guys.
Well, it looked like he wanted a timeout.
Defense, 5 yards.
He would have been farther out on the field if he had not had that rope tied to him.
He was saying last night, hey, this is a big game, but we still got a lot of games to go.
And of course, and they felt confident. I mean, the Eagles have beaten the Cowboys 9 out of the last 10 games. Come in, he was upset because they beat him last time 31-7, and the Cowboys were saying that they felt good about the game. And he said, how can you feel good going off the field when you just got beat 31-7? He was still mad about that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way coaches think.
Less than 5 minutes now. First down, Dallas. It's Emmitt Smith. Still on his feet. Emmitt Smith stopped by William Thomas after a gain of 3 or 4. Jim McMahon still very intense about the situation. Timeout, Philadelphia. They have 1 left. The Jets over Miami. That's, I suppose, the surprise of the day.
Upon learning Little
The team was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Coordinating producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The NFL Today was directed by Duke Struck, and the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. Senior producer here today has been Emmitt Smith and his offensive line.
Hey, you know, if he were a gas tank, he would be running. You know how the gas tank, sometimes when you get on E, a light comes on? Emmitt Smith's light would be on right now.
Well, here he is again. And he might have just run out of gas.
I think, what's that old saying? You can't get blood out of a rock or a turnip or something like that.
That's good enough.
What a when's the last time anyone's eaten a turnip? Anyway, you can't get something out of a turnip, but they're sure trying to get it out of Emmitt Smith. There is a tired running back. There is a warrior. There is a heck of a football player. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going. He doesn't know that thing started out as an elbow pad, I think. Look at it.
Maybe a knee pad.
Yeah, he started out, he had an E on his jersey and had a big old pad on his right elbow. His jersey was tucked in, his uniform was dry.
By the way, I had some turnips not too long ago.
I haven't had a I don't know where the heck turnips are.
They're underground.
Yeah, the other thing is rutabaga. I mean, I could go for a good old turnip and rutabaga dinner.
Either one I'd prefer to a rock, I think.
But anyway, they've gotten it out of the rutabagas tonight.
Right. 3rd and 7. Aikman gives again to Smith. Ball was loose, but he was down. He got 4 yards, 4 tired yards.
Yeah, I would think now is the time. It's probably anticlimactic, but now is probably the time to get Emmitt Smith out of the game, because I mean he's getting very, very close to an area where you could get hurt.
And they're assisting him right now to the correct bench. Mike Saxon back to punt for Dallas. Sakahima back deep for the Eagles. They say he's been close to breaking something. He came close again, but out of bounds. Time to rest, Emmitt.
And he's just hoping that it doesn't come too quick. I mean, that he doesn't have to get back out there too fast. Now, again, the Eagles, they have to play very quick football, because they have to think in terms of 2 touchdowns. They have to play fast break football. Emmitt Smith doesn't want that fast break to be successful, but he doesn't want it to be over too quickly either.
Leon Lett takes Russell Maryland's place. 1st and 10, the Eagles. Ball at their own 45. 20-10 Dallas. 3:52 left to play. McMahon out of the shotgun. Deep. The Calvin Williams first down at the Dallas 38. James Washington made the hit, a gain of 17.
And the Eagles, of course, are going with no huddle because they need those 2 scores.
But they have no timeouts left. Going deep, incomplete. Intended for Williams. Brown. Good coverage.
One thing about Jim McMahon, you know that he's a competitor. I mean, he's gonna fight you all the way until there's no time left. He knows he needs 2 scores, so he's trying to get one quick. Roy Green, you see number 81 in there, just activated for today's game. I don't know if he can run anymore, but at one time he was a great deep threat.
He really was. He could do everything. McMahon to throw. Complete to Roy Green. Everett made the stop. Just over 3 minutes now left to play. Randall Cunningham was replaced after the half by Jim McMahon. McMahon took the Eagles right down the field. McMahon to throw it. Incomplete. McMahon took a hit. Sakahima, the intended receiver. Leon Lett, big 300 pounds on top of McMahon.
Yeah, again, Charles Haley helps that. You know, Haley gets the thing from the outside. He makes the quarterback have to step in, and then you get a big Leon Lett. I think that Charles Haley has helped this defense generally, but specifically, he has helped Leon Lett. Leon Lett is going to be a good pass rusher. I mean, he's so big and strong. He's from Emporia State. And like he said, you know, someone said, what do you think when you're from a little school? He said, when I'm playing a game, I don't think of where I'm from.
2nd and 10. almost again, and McMahon on the scramble. Inside the 15, slides to the 13. And back up in a hurry and ready to go.
Charles Haley gave the pressure, but he didn't have any help. You see, 94, they're just getting back. He was the pressure, but he was the only guy.
McMahon downs it and stops the clock. The Eagles out of timeout. 2:33 left.
Now the Eagles have to think again. Remember just a couple weeks ago, like the Redskin game, they have to think in terms of a score, an onside kick, a recovery, and another score. I think if it gets to 4th down before they get to an end zone, I think they have to think of a field goal. Because you need, 10 points, a 3 and a 7, or 7 and a 3 to tie. You would like 2 7s, obviously.
But you'd settle for 10.
But I think if they get to a 4th down, I think they got to kick the field goal, then try the onside kick.
I think so. I think you're right. 2nd down and 10. McMahon retreats again. Pass is picked off by Isaac Holt. Holt cut down at about the 17, but he got his revenge. Calvin Williams was the intended receiver.
Calvin Williams and Isaac Holt have been going at it all day. Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, Isaac Holt. Isaac Holt, when it's all over today, is going to be able to laugh. In fact, I think Isaac Holt, when he started the game, I think he had one of those shields on. Now he gets this interception, he doesn't. Watch this, he just steps in, makes that interception, and for all intent and purposes, that could finish the game.
He went from being a goat to now a big hero. It was Isaac Holt who got involved in that fracas that gave the Eagles 1st and goal. They couldn't get in. They got a field goal after his little misunderstanding with Calvin Williams, and now he gets the interception.
Yeah, he's really been a pretty good player for this Dallas Cowboy team. He's one of the guys that, people talk about the Herschel Walker trade and the draft choices, but Isaac Holt was one of the guys that they got for Herschel Walker from Minnesota.
England carried the ball back to Smith, who didn't look like he wanted it.
Yeah, I think they're at a point now that Smith really shouldn't be in there. I mean, I think that he may be at a point where he's completely tired. He may be delirious, and they probably ought to get him out of there.
Jerry Jones, along with Jimmy Johnson, who turned this franchise totally around. Back to honor. 2 minutes left.
Question is,
drama of the San Diego socialite murderers. All tonight on CBS. A lot of things happening.
Well, one thing that's not happening, Jimmy Johnson isn't going to take Emmitt Smith out of this game. They're going to kneel down, but he's still going to keep him in there.
I wonder who's going to help him to the locker room.
I don't know. He can't even get his chin strap off. He doesn't even have enough chance to play. He's finally saying, hey, I got to get out of here.
And there he goes.
I don't know if they're acknowledging him yet. He tried to walk off before the timeout. They're finally sending someone in now. What a day. What a player. He's below empty right now.
30 rushes, 163 yards.
He's so tired, he can't even be happy.
Well, that's a great thing about that. About this game, about what a guy who's in really good shape as he obviously is, it'll come back.
And that's the best kind of tired to be. Successful tired, winning tired, gaining over 100 yards tired, being the leading rusher in the National Football League tired. That's good tired. He'll feel better, but it'll be about Wednesday or Thursday, I'll guarantee you.
He said it's usually Monday. This week will be Wednesday or Thursday, as you say.
He says Monday you get up sometimes and you feel some stuff and you wonder, when did that happen?
Yeah.
You don't even remember getting hit or hurt there.
Tomorrow might be one of those days.
And Tuesday might be one of those days. And Wednesday could be one of those days.
30 seconds left. Timeout, Dallas. Now they have 2 left.
Yeah, and they could be thinking here of taking a safety.
Could be.
I think they could do that. That's probably what he's talking to Johnston about there. Special teams coach, the head coach,
Joe Avisano.
And I'm sure they're probably going to take the safety. This is one that is a dangerous play sometimes if you take a safety, in that you don't want your guy to fumble when he takes the safety, because then it could be a touchdown.
Saxon back in the end zone. Let's see if he takes the safety. Then, of course, they get the free kick from the 20 if he takes it.
I would think taking it would be a good play in this situation.
Boom it away. Hema at midfield. And the Cowboys cover well. 38-yard punt, 10-yard return. Kenneth Gant and Vincent Smith down.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Gant is celebrating, and the official comes over and pats him on the back, so that was good.
No.
Never seen that. The guy's celebrating, the official agrees with him.
And then penalizes him.
Yeah. You're right. Now we could be watching the best team in the National Football League. As they play right now, you'll say, who is the best team? And it could very well be these Dallas Cowboys.
The best record, certainly. San Francisco lost. New Orleans sneaking up on people.
They've already beaten the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
They're beating the Eagles here today.
Here's McMahon. Gets rid of it. The Byers one-handed catch. That ought to be enough. Kenneth Gant made the stop. Clock running. The counting begins. Dallas over Philadelphia. 20-10. So for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall.
Week 9, a week of decisions in the NFC East. Eagles and Cowboys scrapping in Big D to determine bragging rights in football's toughest division. Did you say tough? Ask Warren Moon about the new-look Steelers.